This is a D6 generation pip. One of those dots on the side of a six-sided die. Yeah, a pip. A short pip. Little something. About anything gaming related. Sometimes featuring Craig, sometimes featuring Russ. We'll see what's coming up today.
Welcome back. This is indeed another pip. This is actually, dare we say, the pip.
Yes.
It is the pip of all pips.
Right.
This is, of course, our predictions episode, which will actually be an episode in two parts, two pips, if you will.
Right.
And it's only fitting that I make the intro for this time around because I was, of course, the winner.
Is that a tradition now? The champion gets the intro, the following.
Introduce it, and I hate it with all of my heart and with a passion that borders on religion. So it makes perfect sense that I would be introing the predictions episode. However, this is the first time in now over a decade that or actually not quite a decade, but it is the first time we're doing a predictions episode where I did not have to do a rapid fire script beforehand. So
nice.
Much more enjoyable for me personally.
A lot less work. Right, exactly.
Lot less work. So without further ado,
so we got to do the results here.
But the rules.
Before we do the results, right, we got to get the rules down. And as longtime listeners will know, that this is something we take very seriously. And in fact, from the very beginning, we wanted a framework to make sure we could properly grade each other and therefore humiliate each other when we did a terrible job at this game. And over the years, it has evolved thanks to listeners out there who've given us feedback. And so now here's the current scoring system. I think we've been using this now for 3 years in a row, and it's been doing pretty well. So first of all, there are exactly 3 rules. The first rule, all predictions that we made and we'll be making in the next episode as well, they must be quantifiably measurable. So there's be some kind of quantifiable final measure to say yes or no on the prediction. We're still a little... Right. We're not as good about that one as we want to be, but I think we've gotten better.
Yeah.
Rule number 2, each prediction, and Craig is our master scorekeeper, but he also seems to win a lot. So I'm not sure if there's a connection there.
Oh, I had never really noticed that connection.
I'm not saying that that's coincidence is causality. I'm just saying, there we go. So rule number 2 is that each prediction is worth 1 point, but here's where it gets complicated. Yeah. +1 for each host who agrees with the prediction. Who disagrees with the prediction.
Right.
And then additionally, so basically when you make a prediction, both the other people will agree or disagree. Your prediction is +1 point to you if people disagreed with it, but per disagreement, but you're still correct, right? So basically, this is a mechanic that checks and sees if you are making a challenging prediction or an unlikely prediction because the rest of the folks don't agree with you, right?
Right.
But then folks who did disagree or agreed with you also get scored on your own question. So if you correctly agreed or disagreed with that person who disagreed or agreed gets +1 point. And if you say no opinion, you get -1 point, which effectively removes the no opinion option. So now you never give no opinion. No, but also, if you're incorrect, you're also -1. So you might as well guess.
Yep.
Right?
And now these rules were come up with by a listener, Pete Mancini, who was or probably is still, it's only been 5 years, a data scientist. So
this is data science. This is scientific. So if you don't agree with the scoring system, you're a science denier, Craig.
That's right.
I don't know if I agree with that or by calling this a pip.
All right. Number 3.
It's officially an episode.
All right. Number 3, the third rule. All information used to make the prediction must be public. So in other words, we can't make a prediction that we have inside information about.
Correct.
All right. And there's a bonus rule we added, which is if you make a prediction and both co-hosts agree with you, in other words, they think you're right, the predictor then has the option to kick it up a notch and add an extra level of uncertainty or complexity to their prediction. And then the 2 other hosts have the option to change their agreement. So basically, you're trying to make a harder prediction if you feel like you just threw out a softball. Right?
Yep.
Right.
Making sense? Everybody with us?
Yep, I get it.
I am.
Shay's live in the chat. Shade, would you follow all that? Is it making sense there? All right. So here we go. Yes, Shay is right there with us. Excellent, Shay. And by the way, Shay Wallace here in the chat room. He's officially our fact checker.
That's right.
So we've done some fact checking. But if you're like, whoa,
you didn't come join us.
Whoa, that's fake news. That's Shay's fault, basically, is that point.
That's right.
All right.
Right.
Here we go. All right. So, and as you may remember also, there are 7 predictions. So there are 7 rounds, and we will do each round. We will go through and see how we did. So round 1 for our 2018 predictions.
Yes.
Here we go. Are we ready?
Yes.
So Raef, what was your first prediction for this past year, 2018?
All right. My prediction was for Star Wars that The Last Jedi, so the most recent one, well, in the Star Wars anthology, will do in the how do I say that? Not the Han Solo one.
Not those spin-offs. The main story. Right.
The Last Jedi will do better than Star Wars The Force Awakens, and better is defined as higher as determined by Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Craig, did you agree or disagree with that?
I disagreed with that, Russ.
I did too. I disagreed with it also. And you know what? That makes that a very good prediction, Raef, because the results were Force Awakens got 93%, edging out
Last
Jedi by 2%.
Yeah, I was pretty close though, huh?
Yeah, so you were wrong actually on that one.
I was wrong, but close.
Sadly, sorry to hear that. So Craig, that means that you and I each score 1.
Yep.
And Raef gets 0.
That's what it looks like to me.
Right. So right now, I don't want to predict any results here, but you're in last place, Raef. Just want to throw it.
Oh no, Raef gets a -1.
Yes, -1. That's right. If you're incorrect, right.
You're incorrect. Yep.
No, is it only -1? Oh yeah. No, it's -1. Every wrong thing's a -1. Yes,
it
really
seems
bad there.
Odd to me, but yes, it's only -1.
I thought it was only -1 for a disagreeer or agreer, but we'll go with it. Let's make it hardcore. Pro rules. All right.
If incorrect, -1.
That seems straightforward. Okay. We did
Unless Russ cut and pasted it incorrect.
You are a data engineer.
We can go to Shay, but I think we're okay on this. Okay, here we go. I made a prediction last year.
You did.
This one, okay, I'm gonna have to go to the jury on this one. So I predict that PAX Unplugged, which it's always top of mind this time of year because PAX Unplugged last year, 2017, was the first ever PAX Unplugged. It's in Philadelphia. For those who don't know, PAX is the Penny Arcade convention. They're all over the world now. There's one in Australia. There's 2 in the United States. I think there's 3 in the United States now. There's 4 counting PAX Unplugged. They started out as video gaming, added board gaming later, and now PAX Unplugged is the only PAX that's pure, unplugged. So it's pure board games, RPGs, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
I had a great time last year, and I predicted that this year it would be it was over 30,000 people last year, and I predicted it would be over 50,000 in 2018. Now, here's the problem. They haven't released, because it got moved later in the year. It was just the first weekend in December. Okay. They haven't released the numbers yet for this year. Yeah. But I will say the venue was much bigger. So last year they had one space that had the vendor hall, the gaming tables, and the stage all in one little area. Now the stage and everything was out into a main theater. The vendor hall was easily... Now,
all of this is what we call anecdotal.
Yes. The vendor hall was twice as big. The gaming area was twice as big. And the vendor hall was mobbed, like Gen Con level crowds. So
sadly, I have some information for you.
Okay, good.
Oh, interesting.
BoardGameQuest.com did a whole write-up on their PAX Unplugged experience.
Yes.
And the editor was approached by a PAX organizer who informed the website that the gaming space actually increased by 50%.
There you go.
Not double.
Well, bigger.
It was bigger, right? But I think what you said was it had to go up by 66%, right? You said from 30 to 50?
Yes, I did.
So the only number I got here is 50%.
Wow, Craig's going hard.
Now, it's hard to. I mean,
it's hard to say.
Let's put this in perspective, though. You have a prediction for which you are yourself the only.
Yes, I am the only live witness. So I may be. Yes. So
either I'm being a hard ass, or this is my opening negotiation, which is to say, I think this should be a wash.
Well, let's do it this way. I think go ahead, Raef.
I have a solution.
Yeah, go.
I say we can give it to Russ, but it's pending.
I like that.
If he wins, then we wait, or even if he doesn't win, we can wait for the results to officially come in.
And I believe I would like to call for there is precedence on this.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure this has happened in the past, and we did something similar.
Yeah, I think it was something with Craig.
Awarded the points, but they were like, if it matters in the end, we'll go back and check, but it probably won't. And just feeling the rest of my predictions, I'm feeling like it won't really matter. I'm kind of feeling like
usually doesn't.
Not looking like a strong result. So if we pretend I'm right, I get 1 point plus 1 because Raef disagreed with me. So it's worth 2 to me. And Craig gets 1 point and Raef gets -1 point.
That's all provisional.
That's all provisional. So put it into your spreadsheet there, Craig, under provisional.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Sadly, my spreadsheet doesn't have that option, but we'll remember
color the row so you can remove it.
Color the row.
Yeah, there you go.
The gray. It'll be grayscale.
I feel like you've had a whole year to level up your spreadsheet.
I don't know.
We've got some new visitors in the chat room here. Tom is also here. Tom, you are now also officially on the fact-checking squad along with Shay.
Tom!
So there we go. All right. So, Craig, in round 1, you also had a prediction last year. What was your prediction?
I did. I said that the consolidation in the gaming industry will continue.
Yeah.
And one major publisher that we have all heard of will cease to exist in its current form by the end of the year.
Okay.
Yep. I'm curious about this one.
Are you? Have you ever heard of Mayfair Games?
Oh, yes.
Publisher of a little game you might have heard of. Shuttered their doors in February and sold their entire catalog to Asmodee.
I will say that counts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they were huge. So that, yes. There was also consolidation, like Stronghold Games had a merger also. But yes, so that's for.
Yeah, that's.
So you are correct on that one, Craig. I would definitely. Raef, do you agree with me on that? I think that's
yes, absolutely. He nailed it.
Yeah, that was. Of course, that was the one. I had no idea that was happening. I thought something else might be happening that was super interesting and never out. So.
Didn't happen. No. But so that means, Craig, you're scoring 2 because I disagreed with you. Raef gets -1 because he agreed with you.
Right.
Oh no, he gets +1. He gets +1, and I get -1 because I also disagreed with you.
You don't.
So wow. So already my provisional scores are already going away
for disagreeing on the question. Do you just get a 0? I believe.
Oh well, then we got to check some other ones because I've been disagreeing.
I've been correcting.
Okay.
Scorekeeper is off.
The scorekeeper. Okay. We'll defer to.
Provisionally, the score at the end of round 1 is Russ with 3, Raef 0, and Craig with 4.
Wow.
Yeah, that's provisionally, but don't worry, I can still screw this 3.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
Things
I'm
are
not confident.
Okay. I remember this next one for round 2.
Round 2.
This
Raef, what did you predict?
Debate, I remember. So my prediction was Rey of Star Wars fame is not going to the dark side. And you were like, what does that mean? And so we had to define it as she won't fight a light-sided person.
I think we had a rollicking debate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We did. Boy, that was a waste.
Yes. Never even came close.
And that
kind of anticlimactic, really. We had a much cooler plot going on in our heads, apparently.
They were making it very interesting to make it seem like she was fighting Luke, I think.
Yeah. So here's where my score starts to go. So Craig agreed with you, but I was like, no, because I was convinced Rey was going to have a little more of an interesting story development, but nope. So Raef clearly was correct on that. She did not fight any light-sided people.
Yep.
Right. So Raef scores 2 because I disagree with him, and Craig scores 1.
You get 0,
and
but
I
that's
get
okay,
0
Russ. Your score will change in a moment.
Yeah. No, this is gonna go well for me. So then I was like, yeah, but you know what Star Wars movie is going to be awesome? Solo, a Star Wars story, but I was like, it's going to do better than The Last Jedi in both Metacritic and box openings weekend. No, apparently the universe decided to hate Solo, a Star Wars story, which I really don't understand to this day. We can debate that all day, but both of you disagreed with me wisely. So I get -1 for being wrong, and you both get +1 for being right. And I think I'm back down to
provisionally you're 2. You're
last place, just like that. Provisionally I'm 2, but I feel like we'll see what happens. And then Craig, what's your round 2 prediction?
I was optimistic about myself in 2017 moving into 2018. I said that I would make it through 2018 without backing any more than 2 Kickstarters for more than $1, because that gave me the ability to, I could back it for $1 so I could be involved in the messaging, and I didn't back a single one.
Oh, I was gonna.
Wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
That is impressive. So that is a huge swing, because that is both Raef and I were like, nope.
Yeah,
right, Raef? Nope.
I don't believe it. You backed.
I didn't back any.
2.
Not even one.
Some Mantic.
That was in 2017, my friend. Right after Gen Con. Yep.
Was it?
The pledge closed out in November, I believe.
I'm calling a recount.
Yeah, that was an easy. You're right, Shay. That was an easy disagree. So we disagreed with that. So that gave Craig a 3-pointer because he was right, and then we both disagreed with him, and Raef and I score nothing. So there's a 3-point swing right there at the end of round 2. So Craig, where does that put us now in our?
We are Russ at 2, Raef at 3, and Craig at 9.
Yeah. So I just want the provisionally in there, so when I come in last place, there can be a little asterisk next to, next to the fact that I'm in last. I'm really lower than this.
I think, sadly, I think that was my last big scoop of the night. So,
yeah, we'll see. Round 3. Here we go.
All right,
Raef, we're gonna have to rely on your own honesty on this one. But what was your prediction in round 3?
Ball for me on myself in my own prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, so my prediction was that I will play a lead guitar solo in one of the backyard gigs and the band that I was in. Okay. I couldn't have been more wrong, because year 1 that I was in a band, we played 1 backyard gig. I think 2. Year 2, I think we played 5. In year 3, we played nothing.
Oh,
because when Raef showed up for what he thought was going to be the schedule for the summer, they said, yeah, not so much. We don't want you in the band anymore.
Oh, ouch. Yep. Ow, you got kicked out of
my own band.
Started,
Jack Black. Just like
happened.
Jack
Wow.
Black.
Wow.
So I made that more dramatic than maybe. But no, basically what it was is they wanted to kick it up a notch, and they wanted to play out at like real bars and whatnot.
Oh,
and I didn't have a vote, which kind of ticked me off. But so they kind of got together and said, you're not good enough for that, so see you later. That's how I felt about it.
That's tough, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Bummer.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Craig and I both agreed with you that you would play solo.
At least I get the points.
So no, you don't. Sadly, you get nothing. You actually get -1 because you were wrong, but Craig and I did get no bonus.
Well, I had the support of my friends.
Yep,
we did. We were there with you in spirit. But rules are rules, so we got to take a point away from you. All right. So then in round 3, I was in a Star Wars mode apparently. After solo, I was like riding the wave. I'm like, yeah, solo. So then I was like, okay, well, at this time, remember, this was December 2017. We were making these predictions. So there was this exciting game called Star Wars Legion that they had previewed at Gen Con. So
we had no interest,
but it wasn't out yet.
We hated the concept.
No, we were going to, but yeah. So I was like, it's going to be fun, but it's not going to have the success of X-Wing. So it won't be an So my proof point was it will not be on the Adepticon 2019 tourneys schedule. So there will be no Legion events in this the Adepticon that's coming this coming spring. Well, so I said that, and Craig disagreed with me. Craig was confident in Legion even then, but Raef agreed with me. But sadly, I was wrong. There is an Adepticon tourney for Legion right there in the schedule already. So I was wrong on this one. I get -1, and Craig scores +1 for having disagreed with me on that.
And I think I should learn my lesson by now to stop agreeing with Russ and always pick Craig.
Yeah, I know, right? You'd think you'd know by now. He's won the last 3 years. So, Craig,
I don't know
your
what was going on
3?
in my head. I said that DC would either add a movie that wasn't on their schedule to 2018 or push Aquaman out of 2018, thus leaving 2018 completely alone and empty of a DC movie.
I feel like you were trying to save Aquaman somehow. Like you're kind of feeling that maybe Aquaman could be saved if they gave it more time.
I don't know. It's getting really rave reviews, and of course, it did not get pushed back. It's still open next week.
No, comes out in a couple weeks here. So Rafe and I both disagreed with you.
And I sadly lost.
-1. Yes, we need that, Rafe. We got to stay in the game here. All right, that's round 3. So Craig, what's the score right now?
You said it's coming out in a couple weeks. That's still 2018.
Wrong.
Yeah. So Craig was wrong.
Oh, I thought he was predicting Aquaman.
Yeah.
No, he was predicting Aquaman to get pushed out. Not come out.
Aquaman was the only DC movie in 2018. And I thought, I bet they're going to put in another one so they have more presence or push it out so there was nobody in 2018 at all. I don't know why I thought they might do that, but they didn't do that. You guys knew. You guys were smart.
He was feeling it.
You knew what was going on. So at the end of round 3, Russ still has 2. Rafe still has 3. And Craig still has 9.
All right. That's pretty good, Craig. You got a nice lead. So here's where it changes. So I feel like Rafe's on the comeback trail now. So Rafe, round 4, what did you say?
I said that I would still be playing in both the Pathfinder and the Starfinder campaign at the end of the year. And that is, the answer to that is, it's true, but yet you guys are going to argue it and lawyer it.
Okay, let's do this. What do you got?
We decided, the group that was playing the Starfinder campaign decided that Starfinder was not fun. And so we started a second Pathfinder campaign. So
I think you're wrong. That's not rules lawyering. You said
Pathfinder and Starfinder campaigns.
Yeah.
That would mean campaigns were still going on.
Yeah.
You guys
I get it. That's what it says, and I got no problem if you don't think so. But in my head, what I would
No.
Wait, let me translate from Rafe because I think I understand what he's thinking. He's thinking we disagreed, or actually, I agreed with Rafe. I had faith in him, and that I guess. But anyway, so I have no dog in this fight. I'm getting a 0. I think what Rafe is saying is that he thinks that a disagreement here means that it was like not his choice, that it was just random and everything just faded away. And that's not true. They're still active and they're still going to on these 2 campaigns. But the actual wording of the prediction, I think, is pretty stark. And it says we'll both be in both Pathfinder and Starfinder campaigns at the end of the year.
Yeah, I can't argue with you guys that it's clear that we're not playing a Starfinder campaign. But hindsight being 2020, because what I meant inside my brain was I would be in 2 campaigns. They wouldn't fizzle apart. And that's true. There's 2 campaigns that still go with the same group of people. So I guess I should have said I'll be in 2 campaigns and not named them.
Yeah, I feel like Solo wouldn't have done as well. So I feel like we got to stick to the letter of the rules, the law though on this. I kind of feel like I got to be rules lawyery. So Craig, are you agreement? I feel like it's I feel like it's a no. All right, so that means that Rafe, you get -1. I disagreed with you, so I get 1, and Craig gets 0. Right. All right, now here's one that I was sad to see didn't happen because I really wanted this to happen. Right? And I kind of feel like we should try again
the other day.
So I made a prediction that Rafe would lose a game of War Machine and Hordes to my daughter Rose. I was hoping we'd get a game in together this year with her, but unfortunately we didn't. So the game didn't happen.
There's a few weeks left.
There is. We could try to get it to happen. But sadly, it did not happen. So I get -1. Rafe disagreed with me, thinking I think he'd gladly play her, but he would win. But sadly, Rafe gets +1. And Craig gets 0.
All right. So round 4,
what was your round 4, Craig?
And I think it's true, but I will actually show Rafe that I walk the walk and I talk the talk, because I think you and I are both in the same scenario here with our two predictions for round 4. And I feel the same way about mine as I felt about yours. But I said 40K will continue to be a local success, which it is. And by the end of the year, I will have gotten in at least 12 games, which sadly I did not. I got in 6 games.
Right.
And I got 7 games of Kill Team, which is technically almost like 40K, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
No. Okay. Well, Kill Team is like, but that's like saying like Shadespire is the same as playing.
I agree that they're 2 different games. I've said that. But they're not that wildly different. I mean, Sigmar is Future's game.
I agree with Craig because of how I view my first one. What Craig really was saying is 40K is going to continue its local gaming success. That's really what he meant. That's what I said. It didn't have to do with the title of the game. That people weren't going to switch and play War Machine or Guild Ball or so. But again, if we're playing by the letter of the rules, then if the letter of the question, then and here's why I agree that I think we should play by the letter of it, because even if in my head I meant 2 campaigns, you guys are voting on what we wrote down. So
right. And it becomes unquantifiable as soon as we start getting all.
Well, no, I just could have quantified it. I said I'll be in 2 campaigns. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
But then I think I would have pressed you, and you would have had to refine it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And that may have actually been what happened if we go back to
the
tape, but I can't remember. All right. So we're agreeing that we're going with the letter of the quantifiable rules, which is 40K, not any other 40K variant. So, okay. No, I'm just restating the decision. I am not casting dispersions.
All right.
Yes. Shay's casting dispersions. No, he's not. He's right. Okay. So Craig sadly is wrong on that. So -1 for him. Although I would say that your game we played this summer with Sam should count as 3.
But that would still only get me to 9.
No, it would. But that was a 3-day game, so I think it's worth more than 1. Rafe agreed, so he gets nothing.
So
I disagreed, so I get 1.
4, Russ has now bumped himself up to 3. Rafe is still at 3. I have dropped to 8.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Round 5. So, Rafe, what was your prediction in round 5?
I'm not even sure I understand my own prediction. Apparently,
I understand it. And I think you're right, but go ahead and read it.
First year of Xbox One X. I don't even know what that is anymore. What is that?
That's the newest Xbox.
Oh, was that the code name they gave it?
No, that's actually what it's called.
I thought they just had a 1.
The Xbox One X.
I thought they had a 1S. Anyway.
No, the S was the interim one. So it went Xbox One, Xbox One S, and the Xbox One X as an X-ray. The X-ray one is the most powerful one. It's got more power. It can do 4K gaming, not just 4K video, which is the S.
Okay. I had forgotten the name of it. All right. Yep. We'll have less overall sales than the first year of Xbox One.
They have not released the numbers. Microsoft stopped releasing the console sales numbers, but I absolutely think you're right on this because they are. It's very clear that the Xbox One X, while it did well, it did not sell like the first year Xbox One did. I don't think.
I allow it,
and it was less need to upgrade because the upgrade was just there wasn't like exclusive Xbox One X games. It was just better resolution, right? It wasn't like. So Craig disagreed. So Craig gets nothing. I agreed. So I get 1 and Rafe gets 2 because he had to disagree with him.
Yay.
All right. Cool. Now, clearly at this stage of the year, December, right after
warm on Company.
We were warm on Company of Iron. So I said Company of Iron will do well enough that there will be a standalone hardcover.
Even I knew that was just
color
craziness.
rulebook. And it turned to be pretty crazy. But Rafe agreed with me.
Again.
But didn't come out. Nothing happened. There's been no expansion to the game as far as I can tell, other than maybe an FAQ or something. So basically, I get -1, and Craig gets +1 for disagreeing with me. And Rafe
I just realized something. The reason why that I never get to follow Craig is because I don't follow Craig. Because I think I get asked first. So this time I'm going after
Should we
Craig.
change it up this year? Okay. That's fair. All right. I like it.
What do you mean
I'll allow
following?
Okay.
Like when the question gets asked, I'm the first one that
Yes.
Whether or not
can't
you
hear
agree?
what you say first. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that you need to say whether you agree or not, Russ.
No, I'm saying
anyway. Let's move on.
Yeah.
No. Like on Okay, moving on. Craig, what was your
I
round
said
5
that Infinity
prediction?
War was going to do so well, be the top grossing Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time. You guys both disagreed with me. It was a fluke. It was totally a fluke.
It was not a fluke.
No. Undoubtedly, it's not a fluke. It's still second to Black Panther. That's undoubted. But it's not second to Black Panther by that much, is what I'm saying. That reflected by the fact that you guys both disagreed with me, which would seem to make it look like it was a crazy fiction, but anyway.
It was. Well, I think there was some question about whether or not Infinity War would be as good as everybody was hoping it would be.
That's what I remember.
So there was that, and Black Panther just did so freaking well. Yeah. We knew Black Panther was already awesome
in the long run. I personally think eventually Infinity War will money-wise go above it, but who knows?
But Craig is right. We looked it up on the box office Mojo, and Black Panther's total take is still significantly larger than Infinity War. So there you have it. So that means Craig gets a -1, but Russ and Rafe both get +1.
2 million is not
disagreeing appropriately. I will take $22 million bucks if you're just giving it up. Okay. All right. Moving on to round 6. Rafe, what was your round 6 prediction?
I thought Craig's wallet would just be never ending. And that
the bottomless
plus Kickstarters in 2018. And we already know the answer to that one.
Sadly, no. And I think somehow I had some premonition that Craig would be a little bit fiscally responsible. So both Craig and I disagreed with you on that. So you get a -1, and Craig and I each score a +1. So that was a good round for me and Craig. So in round 6, I had a premonition. I had a premonition that the return of the big games was coming, and that 3 of the must-have board games at Gen Con will have play times listed as over 2 hours. Or 3 of the top 5 BGG 2018 release games are 120 minutes or more. And Craig disagreed with me. Rafe agreed with me. So I went to Board Game Geek, and I couldn't figure out exactly what was released at Gen Con and what wasn't. But this is my proposal for the answer. The top 3 of the current hotness: the Grail is over 100, is 120 or longer. Nemesis is 180, and Gloomhaven is 120. And if you just look at the games that were released in 2018 on Board Game Geek, in the top 5, you've got Brass Birmingham at 120, Rising Sun at 120, and Nemesis coming in at 180. So I feel like there are top 5 games in different ways you can slice it that are all at the 2 hour or more mark. So I feel like I'm right on this, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I like it.
Clearly you did a lot of work.
All right. Awesome. So, oh yes, Root was big too. So that means I get +2 because Craig disagreed with me, and Rafe gets +1 because he agreed with me. All right. Craig, what was your round 6 prediction?
I just had way too much faith in Fantasy Flight Games. I said a 5th and a 6th faction in Rune Wars would be released by the end of the year.
Wow, 5th and 6th. You were going big.
I think I had to push it. And and of course, they're still on their skyrocketing red hot release schedule of 1 unit every 3 months. So that game is sadly I don't see a lot of games of Rune Wars in my future. And I say that owning 4 armies.
I know, and I like Rune Wars too, but sadly, so Craig gets a -1, Rafe gets nothing because he agreed. However, I disagreed, so I get +1.
All right, what's the score?
So there's an example, Rafe, of you going with Craig, and it was the wrong choice.
It happened earlier too.
It's not us. You can't always be sure. It's not a science. It's an art.
So do you know in like Texas Hold'em how when you get the two cards and they're face down and then you just bet without even looking at them, going blind?
Yeah.
I'm doing that in the next segment, just FYI. Whatever, Craig.
Okay. You're just going to flip a coin?
No. If it's a question.
Oh, okay.
So I guess right when Craig makes his own questions, right? Because you and I are like, that's ridiculous. That's never going to happen. But when it's someone else's question, Craig's more erringly right than not. So I'm just going to go with Craig.
Okay.
Go blind.
Just, even if I ask you first, you're just going to be like, put me down for whatever Craig says.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I'll allow it. All right. Round 7. Well, going into round 7, Craig,
round
what's
7, the
score
score stands thusly. Provisionally, Rafe is in third place with 6. And Russ and Craig are tied with 8 each. Yep.
What? That's provisional, though, so I don't really think this counts.
Round
but anyway.
6, you made 4 points. That's only 1.
Man, it's really going to come down to that PAX attendance. Come on, PAX! Yep. All right, round 7. Here we go. Rafe, what did you predict in round 7?
Aquaman will have a 75% or more fan score on the Rotten Tomatoes.
So we have another provisional situation.
Or do we say, as of this date?
0. I'm going to have to go with Craig on that.
No. It's ridiculous.
Actually, since you allowed me, I'm going to recuse myself since you allowed me to have provisionalism. I will recuse, and Craig, you must then make the decision.
I'm not going to go against Rafe as the only person, so.
Well, we can let the chat room decide. What do you think, chat room? Since Aquaman has not come out yet, do we provisionally wait and see, or
Jay
do we
calling
say
foul on a bunch of your over 120-minute?
No, he's not.
This wasn't Gen Con. It was a Kickstarter.
Okay.
Painted Trail isn't even out yet. Their Kickstarter over yet.
Oh, look, just details. Details. Shay, details.
I'm thinking I'm making all of round 6 provisional. How's that?
Look, don't pay attention to the chat room. All right, moving on. So you want to make Aquaman provisional?
Yeah, of course I'm not. Of course, I didn't say the movie wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. You just threw Craig under the bus because it's not like Craig. It's not when Craig said like Aquaman's not coming out.
He was picking whether it was going to come out or this year or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, I think we'll have to make this provisional. I'm going to look it up right now and see if there's any early fan feedback. I don't know how that could possibly be.
This is a huge shift in points, is all I'm saying.
It is. It's big.
Yeah, but it just depends on when we record the show.
Okay. Actually, the tomato meter is already at 75% on this.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Because of early viewing by reviewers. Yes, but I'm just saying that given that the reviewers
going to be over 75.
Yeah, I'm feeling better about a provisional scoring on this because I think it's likely to be correct.
Yeah.
Just like I think PAX is likely to be correct. So Rafe, I will allow it. Let's make more provisional in here.
Like it.
Yes, and Shay's agreeing also on the superhero thing. So Craig, this is a big pointer because Craig and I disagree. So we thought it was
so Rafe is picking up 3 provisional points here, and Russell is picking up
0. Yeah. Nothing. So that's a big swing. All right. Okay. Now moving on. Now I predicted in round 7. I don't know what I was thinking here, but I like to go big in round 7. That's the thing I like to do. So I said there will be a breakout. Now, so this, remember, again, for time, we have to go back in time now. So Apple had just had a big event. They were showing off some of the new augmented reality technology on their iPhone, blah, blah, blah. So I was all in augmented reality mode. I'm like, there'll be a breakout augmented reality game that will be a huge hit with strategy gamers. And it will have a Metacritic rating above 80. I don't even know of an augmented reality game that didn't suck. So I'm going to just call it wrong right off the bat. Wisely, you both disagreed with me. This time we let Craig go first, and Rafe followed Craig. So that might be a thing, Rafe. So I get -1, and you both get +1. So that was a nice swing. And then, Craig, what was your final prediction?
To be all alone with his pro Company of Iron propaganda. So I said that it would boost War Machine play, and the way that we would be seeing that is that we would be getting at least 10 games of Company of Iron in over the course of 28. We did not play a single game of Company of Iron after the predictions episode was recorded.
I don't think we did. Wow. That's correct. That's sad.
Raef with his rosy-colored glasses somehow must have pressed the wrong button and disagreed. Russ, of course, couldn't hedge his bets by saying, do so well, it's going to get a hardcover book, but then disagreed with that, so he had to agree. And of course, I was wrong. Right. And thus, Raef picks up another point, this one non-provisional.
Yeah.
I lose a point, and Russ does not gain another point.
Right. So here it is. So Craig, you're in charge of the final provisional score
is Russ in third place with 7. Craig in second place with 9. And Raef in first place with 11.
Wow. And now here's the thing. The bonus round where we predict who is going to win before we add the bonuses. Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, but
So Raef predicted Craig. So he gets no bonus points. But Craig predicted Raef gets +1. And then I predicted Craig, so I get nothing. So what is the final score now with the bonus factored in, Craig?
I went up 1 to 9, and that's it.
Right.
Raef
still has 10?
You don't lose 1, do you?
You don't lose 1.
No. I'm just making sure. I couldn't remember what the score was. So it's 11. So 11 for Raef, 9 for Craig, and 7. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it did come down. It does come down to 2 provisional things. My provisional thing probably doesn't matter too much, but Rafe's Aquaman provisional thing at a 3-point swing, that's huge, right? So if we have to come back, we'll have to look at Aquaman, but I feel like the critics at 75%.
If it's not even out yet and it's already getting 75%.
Yeah, I feel like fans
I don't know
like
what I was
critics.
thinking. Yeah.
And it
must have been, you know what? I must have thought that it was going to be even worse than Batman versus Superman.
You were.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking unless it's Rotten, unless it's Wonder Woman. Yeah, we're going to check the date for Rotten. Oh, right. Shay is saying we should have a date on the next episode where we come back to Rotten Tomatoes and check that out. Make a note there, Craig.
Good idea.
All right. So what was the final score?
11,
it was 11 for Raef.
7.
9 for Craig.
Counting by odd numbers. Counting to
we're going to come.
Odd numbers.
We're going to check that out. Achievement unlocked. You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at info@the d6generation.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Thanks for listening and happy gaming.